Guys, this is Chris, Tabletop Sports Delaware, and we are bringing to you an oldie but a goodie. This came out in 1995 and was produced by Decipher Incorporated, and it is Star Wars: The Customizable Card Game, where you buy a starter set of 60 cards, booster packs, and everything, kind of like Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! And other games. However, this is Star Wars, and Ron and I got into this, and I thought I would share it with you. He's got our collection of cards just for the premiere set, which was A New Hope, and Decipher created cards for an expansion for The New Hope, and then The Empire Strikes Back, a Hoth set, a Dagobah set, a Bespin set, some for Return of the Jedi, expanded universe like Shadows of the Empire, even into Phantom Menace, and stopped producing them in 2001. However, tournaments are still done to this day online. It's a great game, and I thought I would show you the cards and then also how to play. So let's go ahead and get to this. And this camera over here, we're going to have some stuff in it in a little bit. But right down below here, you're going to see the names of the turn phases, and during gameplay, that'll help you to keep track of what part of the turn we are doing. And then, of course, there's that guy right up there. But anyhow, let's go ahead and do this. Star Wars Customizable Card Game. There are two sides to the Force. There is light side and dark side. The dark side player, his cards will be darker and they will have the Imperial insignia on it. The light side will have the Rebel insignia on it. There are different kinds of cards. We have character cards, and you will see generally the light side cards are going to be brighter, the dark side cards are going to be darker. As far as the characters, it's real close to the color that's on the back of the cards, the gray like that. So as far as all cards are going to have, they're going to have a logo up here that indicates what kind of card it is. They're going to have the name of the card, a character name, a vehicle name, the name of an effect, which is generally, it has a whole lot of stuff that's close to a Star Wars quote because it's Star Wars themed. They'll have a destiny number, and I'll explain destiny numbers during gameplay. They'll have some lore, which can include words like leader. Different effects will affect leaders, spies, warriors, scouts, different kinds of things like that. You will have a power and an ability rating, and we will cover that. Power basically is how much strength you have during a battle at a location. And ability is how much presence you have, whether you can draw a destiny, which adds to your power. There are different kinds. We have Imperial and Rebel. We also have alien cards, which are denoted with Jawa eyes, and droid cards, which are denoted by C-3PO's eye. And you will notice no ability on the droid cards. The droids do not have ability, so it's not on the card. They cannot have presence at a site. Next we have starships and vehicles. Starships will have this logo right here. Vehicles will have a little map-looking logo right there. And the usual, they've got their power, they've got maneuver, whether it's got hyperdrive or what the vehicle's land speed is. If it has a pilot on board, it's there already. That's what that little logo is. And that will also appear on your character cards. If your character can pilot a ship, they will have a logo like that right there, the X-Wing pilot's face. Also warriors. Warriors can carry weapons, and effects affect warriors as well, but they'll have the, down to, you can see it, the little blue icon with the picture of a E11 blaster pointed up to the right. Also on the cards, you're going to see all of the character and vehicle cards are going to have both a deploy cost, which is in a little white square there, and a forfeit cost. And the forfeit cost generally that comes during battle. We'll explain that at a later point as well. We also have location cards, which come in both system and site varieties. These little marks determine how you find out how much currency you get, how much force, and we'll explain that as well. Each little hash mark on one player's side, the blue is the light side, the red is the dark side, kind of like Obi-Wan and Vader's sabers. That's how many units of force they can activate. So say they activate 4 force, they spend 2 of those force to deploy this TIE fighter. Then they use 2 force, and then they have 2 remaining. They have little blurbs as far as what benefits, what boons or penalties the other players may have, depending on whose it is. Both sides will have these locations, a good deal of them, so they can be replaced if one side has control and they're at a site with the other player's card there. On location cards, on site cards, it will indicate whether it is an indoor site, such as the corner of a room, or an outdoor site, the picture of G1 and G2, Tattoo 1 and Tattoo 2. It will also have whether it is a mobile system, or in the case of Tatooine Docking Bay, it is a system that it is attached to, and a scomp link. Certain droids can use this to do certain things during the game. It's the little round thing that R2-D2 plugged into on Bespin in The Empire Strikes Back. Also of note, with system cards, there will be a little hyperspace marker right here. All the systems have a number, and ships will have a hyperdrive, like a hyperdrive of 3, hyperdrive of 2, hyperdrive of 4. The systems have different numbers here, and whatever systems are on the table, that will tell you how many systems that ship can move. We also have some other cards to show you. We have weapons and devices. Weapons will have this little pew-pew symbol up here. Devices have that. It will say whether it's a weapon, also a character weapon, there may be a vehicle weapon. You have devices, you have the game text down here, and the game text will tell you if it costs force to deploy, also on whom it may be deployed, or where it can be deployed, and then how to use it. You have effect cards, and effect cards, essentially, they have an effect on the game. There are 3 different kinds of effects. You have immediate effects, regular effects, and what they call Utini effects. Immediate effects, it takes effect right then, like this. It takes effect immediately. A regular effect can take some time to develop. An Utini effect is going to require a certain sequence of events in order for it to come to fruition, its effect. There are also interrupts, which are kind of lower scale but immediate kind of things that you can do. There are 3 kinds. There are lost interrupts, there are used interrupts, and there are cards that can be done as used or lost interrupts. And we will show you in the game how that works. The used interrupts will just go back into your used pile, and lost interrupts are lost. And we will explain that shortly. It will make perfect sense in about 3 shakes of a bantha's tail. 1. They take a long time to shake their tail. It's convenient for me. 2, 3. Okay, let's get into some facets, and we'll get into the gameplay here shortly. So you are aware, as we zoom all the way up there, players start with 60 card decks. They are going to select a starting location and place it on the table, and then they're going to draw an 8-card hand to start. This is their life right here. As soon as the face-down cards from the certain piles are gone, that's it. No more. Both players will start with a 60-card deck. Select a location, 8-card hand, and go from there. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's get our starting locations on the table, and then we'll get right into it. So the dark side player, and remember that you need to line up the icons facing the player that correlates to. So the light side player is on this side of the table. The blue saber marks need to be over here. The dark side player is on this side of the table. The red saber marks need to be on his side of the table. And we'll show you other reasons why that is. So we're going to start with the docking bay at Moss Isley and the moisture farm for the Lars family. Alright, so we're going to shuffle our decks. We're going to select 8 cards. For the dark side player's hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alrighty. And we'll stick that up there. And the light side player's card. Hand, rather. And we'll do about 5, 6, 7 turns or so, try to show you all the facets of how to play the game. And I'll try to remember to use the proper terms. Helps. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what do I do with the rest of the cards, you ask? There is a actual way that the cards need to be placed. And I will show that to you right now. Yes, that's the whiteout. This right here is going to be your reserve deck. These are the cards that you activate. You'll see turn phase 1 activate. That you will activate cards from the top depending on how many lightsaber switches you have at the locations on the table. And then once you activate force, this is your force pile. It will be here. When you use force to deploy, initiate battle, or move, you'll move them here to the used pile, which will be right up here. And then if you have to lose force for any reason, lost cards will go right here in your lost force pile. So that way you can see it here. This is going to be your force pile. This will be your used pile. And this will be your lost pile. And I've got the camera on here so you can see where we're going to lay everything out. And occasionally I'll come over for visual reference so you can see that. Alrighty. So now we are going to try and get this party started. Alrighty. Let's do that. Dark side always goes first. Sometimes it pays to be the bad guy. Alrighty, so let us see here. First, we count out the lightsaber hashes on our side of the table. That's the dark side. These are red. So he has 1, he has 2. So he's going to activate 2 force. However, you always activate 1 extra force for the living force that you represent at the table. So it would be 1, 2, and 1 more is 3. And we're going to be, you'll see it with the light side player here in a moment, we're going to be activating force into our force pile for the dark side. So 1, 2, 3. Alrighty. That was turn phase number 1, activate. Now turn phase number 2, control. The main thing you can do during control is if you have a character card with ability, that means you have presence at this location. If your opponent has nobody there, you have control at this location. If you have control, you can force drain the number of lightsaber icons and cause them to lose that many force or that many cards and put them in their force in their lost pile. Nobody has that at this point, so we will show that here on the next turn. Next is going to be deploy. Now for deploy, you can put down sites, you can put down, and sites are free, locations are free rather, either sites or systems. We're just going to play Tatooine, keep it simple. You can deploy characters, you can deploy weapons, and they will tell you how many force it costs to deploy. So we are going to deploy One Widow Stormtrooper, Whitedale. And his deploy cost is 1. So you would take one from the used force here, or the force pile, and move it to the used pile, which is what I'm getting ready to do for the dark side player. It's off camera, but you'll see the light side player in just a moment. So there is that. Now we have 2 force left in our force pile. Well, I'll tell you what. We're just going to go ahead. So that way it's on the table. We're going to use 1 force again from the force pile to the used pile. And we are going to use 1 force to deploy on any warrior. And he has the little blue icon which shows he is a warrior. So now our little Stormtrooper has an Imperial Blaster. Ain't he special? So we have 1 force remaining. We can... Da-de-da. Well, battle is the next turn phase. There's nobody to battle, so we can't do that. The next turn phase is move. Now, unless it states otherwise or conditions say otherwise, basically it costs 1 force to move 1 character to 1 adjacent site. And the dark side does have 1 force remaining in their force pile. However, they are not going to do that at this point. So let's go to the draw phase, the final phase of the turn. And during this turn, you can draw cards from your force pile into your hand. A lift tube. How quaint. And then you are going to, and I will show this to you, you will take your used force pile and you will put it at the bottom of your reserve deck. And I'll show you that with the light side guys in just a moment. And then, and it's in the rules, it's really cool, you say, may the force be with you, to your opponent. Alrighty. So now it is the light side guys. And they have activate 1, 2, 3, and 1 to grow on. So that's a total of 4 that they activate. So we're going to take from the top of our reserve deck and go 1, 2, 3, 4. This is our currency. This is our spending. These cards in the force pile right here. Make sure we put it somewhere where it can be seen well. That'll do. Okay, next is control. Well, we do not have presence at any site, so we cannot even think about a force drain. So next is going to be deploy. We are going to deploy the Dune Sea. Make sure the lightsaber colors are the same. And we do that for free. Yeah, we'll move you up there so we can better see what's going on. That'll work. He's got his blaster. Alright, so we have deployed a location. We are going to deploy. We have the Moisture Farm. Owen, Baru, and Luke deploy -1 here. Luke's deploy is 4. We are going to pay 1. We're going to use 1 force, use 2 force, use 3 force. And we are going to... Rebel Trooper deploys free at the same site as one of your rebels with ability greater than 2. Luke has an ability of 3. Doesn't cost anything to put a Rebel Trooper down at the same site as Luke. And I think that's going to be that. We are going to initiate battle. I have 1 force left, so I can initiate battle at this site, at this location. So battle has 3 different components. First is firing weapons. Second is, and I'm not going to be able to show you that this time because the dark side does not have any force remaining. They don't have any force in their force pile, so it requires a force to fire that weapon. So he's not going to shoot it. Second is going to be determining total power for each side. Now, whenever there's a combat, whenever there's a battle has been initiated, each side counts the total ability present. If it is 4 or greater, you draw what is known as Battle Destiny. These little numbers up here, like that. And that number on the card that we draw is going to be added to our total power. So the light side has an ability of 4, so they're going to draw Battle Destiny. Ooh, that's a high number. Thank you very much. And the Imperials, the Stormtrooper has the ability of 1. He's not drawing Destiny. So the total power is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 1. So they have beaten them by 6. That means that the Empire must lose 6 force. The dark side player must lose 6 force. First, if Destiny is drawn, Battle Destiny, and Weapons Destiny is different, we'll show you that later, but if ability of 4 or more, if Battle Destiny is drawn, this must be satisfied first by forfeiting from the site. And that's that little black box down there, the forfeit value. So we have Destiny of 4, so there is attrition. So we must satisfy attrition, and we only have 2. So we have to forfeit the Stormtrooper. Attrition is only from here. That is important to remember. So we have forfeited 2, and it is going to go in the lost pile. But we'll put that over there with the dark side players' cards. Now they beat them by 6. So the total battle damage is 6. They have forfeited 2, which leaves them with 4 battle damage. So they must lose 4 force. And you can do that in one of 2 ways. They can either lose cards from their hand, which is preferable because you know what these cards are. You're not taking much of a risk. Or by taking cards over here, that way. Look at that picture up here. Cards from your reserve deck, and flip them over one at a time. Well, that can have some risk, especially if you're waiting on a really good card to come up. So the dark side player is going to, we're not playing Tatooine, so they'll lose the Death Star docking bay and put it in their lost pile. They will lose, we're going to lose Lift Tube. Now I want to lose them all from here. Disturbance in the Force and Imperial Barrier. Okay. So they have lost 4 force. That has been satisfied. When you draw Battle Destiny when you're done, place it in your used pile. That picture up there. Put it in your used pile. So that is Battle. We have Move, the next turn phase. We have no force, so we cannot move. We also cannot draw cards. However, we recirculate our used pile under our reserve deck, and we say, that's right, may the force be with you. Now it's the dark side player's turn. Alrighty, let's go 1, 2, 3, and 1 to grow on is 4 force to activate. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Control. They have no control anywhere, so they cannot force drain. Deploy. I really don't have anything to deploy. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to play a Lost Interrupt. So I've decided I'm going to play an Interrupt. This says that it's a gravel storm, and then it strikes at the Dune Sea, the Junlin Wastes, Beggar's Canyon, Jawa Camp, Mos Eisley, or Lars Moisture Farm. You are going to target one opponent's character at that site. Draw Destiny. Target is lost if Destiny is greater than ability. Luke's ability is 3. Rebel Trooper's ability is 1. So I'm targeting the Rebel Trooper. I'm going to draw Destiny. Now, if you draw a location card, it does not have a Destiny number. It counts as 0. And this is a used card. You put it in the used pile. This is a Lost Interrupt. You put it in the lost pile. They do not lose any characters. So we are still in the deploy phase, and I have nothing to deploy. So I have nothing with which to battle and nothing to move. So I'm going to move on to the draw phase, and I'm going to draw a card. You can draw them one at a time. I'm going to draw another card. I'm going to draw one more card. I'd really like to leave one there. Yuck. Now draw the last one. Good. Okay, I'm happy. So we will recirculate the used pile under the reserve deck and say, may the force be with you. The light side player has 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 to grow on is 5. So we're going to activate force. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Control phase, we have presence here. The opponent does not, so we have control. So we're going to force drain the dark side player for 1 force. They have to lose another force. Stormtrooper. Okay, now we do deploy. We have a few choices. We have a rebel squad leader. Moving with a squad of exactly 3 troopers or rebel guards, move all 4 for 1 force instead of 1 force for each. And their forfeit is +1. Let's see. Dum. We have a droid. We have a rebel commander. He is a leader. Other rebels at the same site are forfeit +1. He costs 3 to deploy. And a blaster. I'm thinking we deploy the rebel commander right here for 3 force. And that's going to be it for deploy. Something else you may have noticed, the borders around the pictures on the cards. There are a lot of white ones and a lot of black ones. These are unlimited and these are limited. The difference between those are the limited costs a little more, and here's why. Say Luke Skywalker, his power is 2, ability is 3. In the limited cards, his power is 3, his ability is 3. So the main cards cost a little bit more because they're a little more powerful, a little more effective. By and large, all the common cards are the same. Most of the uncommon cards are the same. You get into the rares and there are differences. So these are unlimited, these are unlimited, and these are limited. White is unlimited, black is limited. But everything in here will be the same except for the aforementioned changes. So that was deploy. There's nobody to battle. Why move somebody? Why not move somebody? Let's pay 1 force and move the rebel trooper over here. So now we're set up to force drain pretty good. No, we're not going to do that because if someone battles there, we don't get to draw Battle of Destiny. So you need to weigh all of these things together. So Luke and the rebel trooper will stay together. Dum. I probably could have done that, but that's alright. That is move, draw. We have 2 cards in our force pile. I'm going to draw 1. I'll draw the other. Okay. And we can show you how that works. And I'm going to recirculate our used force pile back under the reserve deck. I'm going to look at the clock on the recording. That's, where is it? Not too bad. Alright, and say, may the force be with you, dark side player. Ha ha, I've got you now. So they have 1, 2, 3, 1 to grow on is 4. So they're going to activate 1, 2, 3, 4 force. Control, they have no presence, so they cannot force drain. Deploy. Am I going to take the hit? Grg. I'm not going to do anything this turn because I only have 4 force, and you might be able to guess why. If not, you'll find out shortly. So I'm not going to do deploy, battle, move, or draw, and I'm going to say, may the force be with you. Come to the dark side. We have cookies. So light side player, 1, activate. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 to grow on is 5. So we're going to activate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 force. Control, we have presence here, so force drain of 1. We have presence here, force drain of 2. The dark side player loses 2 force. The dark side player is going to Lose. It could be worse. Just played. It is canceled, and you may use X Force to raise damage against your opponent. Oh, no, that's different. Okay. That's different. Alright, we're going to lose a droid and a Stormtrooper utility belt. So that's 2 force for the force drains. Now we go to deploy. We are going to deploy a blaster on the Rebel Trooper for 1 force. So we use a force. Right over there. Used a force. And we might as well give one to Luke as well. So we will deploy a blaster on Luke. So they both have pew-pews. I'm thinking we just might do we deploy a speeder to show you how it works? I think we do. So we are going to deploy a speeder right here at the Dune C. Deploy cost is 2. 1, 2. Battle, there's no one to battle. Move. The Rebel Commander is going to get on the land speeder, and we are going to, it has land speed 3. So we're going to use 1 force, and you can go up to 3 spaces. 1, 2. Boom. And he's out. He's in, he's out, whatever. Whenever they're there, I automatically assume that they're out. You can leave them in if you want, but they unload. They can do that for free however many times a turn. They can. And since he has moved here in the land speeder, if I wanted to leave the land speeder here and then move here, I could use 1 force had I another force to use and move him because I haven't used his movement this turn. Character can only move once per turn. However, they can move on a speeder and then move on their turn separately. So that is move with a vehicle. There's nothing to draw. We're going to recirculate our used force. We are going to look at the dark side player and say, screw your cookies, may the force be with you. The dark side player, activate. 1, 2, 3. And 1 to grow on is 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. They cannot force drain, so they don't do anything on their control turn. However, we'll put this here so you know he's not in the speeder. That costs 7 force to deploy Lord Vader. One at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dark side would like to initiate a battle. So we count up first. We do weapons first, and it's only the Rebel Commander. There is no pilot on the land speeder, so it is not involved in this battle. So we have Rebel Commander. He has ability of 2. The Dark Lord has an ability of 6. Dark Lord draws Battle Destiny. And that Destiny is blank. It's a location card, so no Battle Destiny is added. There is no, and that goes back in the used pile, so there is no attrition. Now we add the total powers, 1 and 4. So that means the dark side wins by 3, and the light side player needs to lose 3 force. And they can, from this site, they could forfeit the land speeder because it has a forfeit value of 3. They're going to do that. And then they're going to put that in their lost pile. Look up there. Up there. They're going to put it in their lost pile right here. Again, so you can see, you've got your force pile would be here, used pile would be here, lost pile, lost cards go in here. Alright, so let's get back up here. So we've pretty much got everything the way we want it to be-ish. Yeah, kinda. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, cool. We're back. So that was battle. Now we're going to do move. The dark side player has no cards in his force pile over there. So he can't draw either. So we're going to recirculate our used pile under our reserve deck and say, "May the force be with you." So now it is a light side player. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 to draw on is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Control, we have control here. Presence, no presence. So force drain of 1. And we foolishly picked it off the top of the reserve deck, but it ended up being the docking bay control room 327. So that's fine, it stays there. Light side deploy. Light side deploy. Not a whole lot going on there, really. So let us try. We have 5 force. Let's put down a. And all the rebels, same side are forfeit +1. That's 4. Okay, let's put down rebel squad leader. Deploy cost of 2. Use 1 force. Use 2 force. Then we will initiate a battle right here. Just to show you how really we're going to lose. So no, we're not going to initiate the battle. Why do it? We can't even draw Battle of Destiny. So no, we're not going to initiate a battle. We are going to move, and we are going to use 1 force to move Luke and his little blaster over. Rebel trooper stays there. And then we are going to draw. We're going to draw a card. I'm not happy with that. Let's draw the other one. Boom. Okay. And we will recirculate our used pile under the reserve deck and say, "May the force be with you." Alrighty. Those go in hand. Dark side. 1, 2, 3. 1 to draw on is 4. 1, 2. They don't have much to do except try and fight. However, with Luke there, well, I'll tell you what. Control, we can't control. Deploy, we have a stormtrooper, and stormtroopers deploy free to the same site as one of your Imperials with ability greater than 2. So just like the Rebel Trooper can go where Luke is, Stormtrooper can go where Vader is for free. So we're going to do that. We're going to use 2 force and deploy on him. No, it doesn't do any good to do on this turn, because then we can't shoot it. No, we'll leave it the way it is. Okay, so that was free. Let's go ahead and initiate battle. So we will use 1 force to do that. First is weapons. Luke does have a blaster. So, however, Luke does not have any force. Look up there, doesn't have any force in his force pile to be able to do that. So, no weapons this battle. Second is total power. So first we do ability. Luke has 3. Rebel squad leader has 4. Rebel commander has 2, makes 6. So we have 6. We're drawing Battle Destiny. Light side Battle Destiny is 3. Dark side has ability 1 plus ability 6 is 7. They are drawing Battle Destiny. They draw a 3. Right there, a 3. Okay, so total power for the light side is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Total for the dark side is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the light side loses 1 force. However, since Battle Destiny was drawn, both sides must forfeit from this site. Now, the light side, other rebels at the same site are forfeit +1. Rebel squad leaders already forfeit 3. However, he's less ability. Rebel commander is forfeit 2. So we are going to forfeit him. That'll be the 3 for Gravel Storm. So we have forfeited 3 as the light side player. Look up there, we put it in the lost pile. Dark side must forfeit 3. And let's make sure with Vader that he doesn't do anything to boost that. Must deploy on Death Star, which we're not playing Death Star, so whatever. It may move elsewhere. May not be deployed if 2 or more opponent's unique characters, and I'll have to remember to show you that before we're done. If in a losing battle, draw destiny. Okay, so it does not say immune to attrition, which is really not cool because we have to forfeit 3 and a stormtrooper is only 2. We have any interrupts? It's worse. Mount. One force. No, okay. Not that's going to help here. So that means in order to forfeit 3, Vader has to be forfeited for a forfeit value of 5. Vader is off the table. Used. We have force in our force pile over there, but we're not going to do anything with it. We are going to use 1 force to move. Stormtrooper is skedaddling away from those guys. And we are going to draw 1 card. Destiny for each character, starship. Well, okay, we can do that. Let's go ahead and recirculate under the reserve deck and say, may the force be with you. And what have I not covered in this? I think I've pretty much covered everything. So we may just go through the light side turn and that'll be it. So let's go ahead, light side activate. 1, 2, 3, 4. And remember, the turn phases are right there. Activate is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 to grow on is 5. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Control. We have a force drain of 1. However, we have an interrupt that the dark side player can play. Counter assault. Use 1 force. They have 1 force remaining, so they put it in their used pile. To cancel a force drain at 1 location. Draw 1 destiny for each character that the opponent has present. Compare your destiny total to opponent's power total. Player with the lowest total loses equal force to the difference. So I have 2 characters, so I'm going to draw 2 destiny. The 6. And a 4, a 10. Holy crap. And they have power of 3. They must lose 7 force. And you can forfeit from the site, should you want to. First, we're going to forfeit a... Luke is 4, he is 3. We are going to forfeit Rebel Guard, Rebel Trooper, R5D4, R5D4 is 4, and Rebel Squad Leader is 7. We're going to lose up there that force right here. Destiny is used. So this is light side. That was light side. Oh, and that's a lost interrupt, so it goes in a lost pile. That was light side control with the force drain, which didn't really work all that well. Light side deploy. They are going to deploy they've got 5. We will deploy a Rebel Trooper for free on Luke with his blaster. We will deploy a Rebel Guard right here for 2 force. We will deploy a Rebel Squad Leader. Will we? We will. A Rebel Squad... No, we will not. We will not deploy him. I don't have anyone else to really add. Okay, that's going to be it. So, no, we're not going to deploy him. Okay. Let's go to battle. We are going to use a force to initiate battle. Up there. Moved it over. We are going to do weapons first. Blaster. Use 1 force to deploy. May target using 1 force. We're going to target the Stormtrooper for 1 force. So up there, use force. Draw Destiny from the used pile. And Destiny is a 4. Character hit if Destiny is greater than ability. So he is hit, turning sideways. He still contributes power for this battle, but he is gone after the battle. Destiny, used pile. So total power. No one has ability of 4, so we're not drawing battle Destiny. That was weapons Destiny. That only counts for firing the weapon. That doesn't go towards battle Destiny. It's one thing I wanted to cover. I'm glad I did this. So power is 1. Power is 1. Nobody wins this battle. However, he was hit. Stormtrooper is lost. Goes in the lost pile. What did I do with the light side lost pile? Oh, that's these guys. Duh. Light side. Oh no, light side forfeited everybody. We don't have a hand. That's right. Crap. Okay. Oh, so I just deployed someone that was in my lost pile. Oh well, it's for example's sake. I don't care. You guys might have caught that. I don't know. So we will do move. Why not? Let's move Luke back over here home to the moisture farm. Sitting with his rebel trooper buddy. Both of them got blasters. Both of them are picking off womp rats. Both of them are picking off womp rats in their T-16 back home. That's not much bigger than 2 meters. Then man your ships. May the force be with you. Guys, this is Chris, Tabletop Sports Delaware, bringing you more than just tabletop. We're bringing you Star Wars. Customizable card game, Decipher Incorporated, 1995 through 2001. And yeah, that's it. So I wanted to show this to you. I was a bad boy. These cards used to sell 15 card packs for $3 in 1995, the expansion ones. They go high collectively. Some sell them for $5 or $6 a pack. I found an unbroken box with 36 packs on eBay for $130. I was a bad boy. And you know what? I was thinking about putting those on the shelf. Not doing anything with them at all. You know, just letting them sit there and collect dust, knowing that I have... Now, screw it! I'm doing a box opening next week when I get them. You guys get to see me open cards like wee little kid. I'm going to like, woohoo, yay, that's awesome. So, yeah, that's all we've got. That was Star Wars Customizable Card Game by Decipher Incorporated. And this is Chris signing off. This video is not intended for young viewers. Even though young viewers play this game, I have to say it because of laws. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. And I will have that unboxing video up probably middle of next week. I'm not sure when I'm going to get it. I'm anticipating Tuesday, Wednesday, possibly Thursday. It's coming from Casper, Wyoming. No, that's another one because I found another auction made an offer, 135 cards for $15, which is well under, I mean, that's pennies on the card. They're going to be used. I don't care if they're in pristine condition. I'm not getting these to collect them. I'm getting them to play the game. So those will be here as well, so we'll have more to choose from. But, yeah, I just wanted to share this little gem with you guys. I love this game, Star Wars Customizable Card Game. That's it. So, without any further ado, I'm going to make sure I have my cursor where it needs to be and say, this is Chris, guys, take care and keep on rolling. Or shuffling. Or activating, controlling, deploying, battling, moving, drawing, using, reserving, losing, hopefully winning. See you guys. May the force be with you.